All right. Hello, everyone. Very excited to be here. Congratulations to you. This is an incredible achievement. Thanks, Fadil, for the invitation. I'm a big fan of what you're doing and what Nexford represents. But I wouldn't want to waste your time here. I have about 10 minutes just to give you a little bit of a charge and also talk about some of the incredible experiences that I've been opportune to have as well and how that could inspire some of us. But before I go into that, a few days ago, I'm sure many of us observed what happened with the Artemis program, right? Which is NASA's attempt to go back to the moon and establish a permanent base on the moon, right? And then use that as some kind of launch pad for planetary exploration, right? Going to Mars and other parts of the solar system and perhaps even beyond. But that launch, as we all saw, right, failed. But that's what happens when you're trying to change the world, when you're trying to break into new frontiers, when you're trying to do something that hasn't necessarily been done before, or if you're trying to go past what has been done before. You always encounter failure, right? But ultimately, success is being able to fail 1,000 times, right, and still keep going. I think one key thing that I would like to start with is to say that you guys already have everything it takes to succeed, right? You don't need anything else. A Nexford education and degree is all that you need. It's quite painful for me that, Fadil got to start this 5 years later than he should have, right? Because I did my MBA in 2013 to 2015. I spent over $200,000 to get that MBA, right? Money that I could have used to have started a company, right? But here you guys are getting the exact same thing, perhaps even better, right? At a small, really, really small fraction of that cost. So congratulations to you, right? For paying a lot less than, what I had to pay to get the exact same learning. But anyway, bottom line is after that learning, I was able to move on to start to really do something that really mattered. As a Nigerian growing up, witnessing, poverty, witnessing decay in our society, military dictatorship for many years and all that, I saw how the potential of a country, right, still remained potential. We really didn't move forward. And I thought to myself, what can I do when I grow up to actually make a difference here? Because I realized at some point that if we waited for governments to actually bring about the transformation that we wanted, we might end up having to wait forever, right? So I decided, okay, what can I do to actually to change this, to move my country forward, to move my continent forward? So I did computer science undergrad, taught myself how to write code, started building software here and there. After a while, I thought, okay, do you know what? Maybe it's time to also make a little bit of money. So I tried to get a job in oil and gas, right? No offense to oil and gas. Spent 5 years there. It was exciting. Made a little bit of money, decent salary. But ultimately, I asked myself at some point that in 40, 50 years' time, when I look back, right, what do I want to say? What do I want to feel? Do I want to say, oh, I lived a good life, I made some good money, set up my family well, and that's it? Or do I want to do something that is a lot more meaningful, something that would move my community and my nation forward? So I realized it was time to actually move on. So I left, got an MBA, a degree in business, and then joined up with my co-founder to actually start working on an idea that would transform the way mobility works on the continent. And that was really the beginning of Max, which ultimately started as a class project. And it's been 7 years we've been building Max. Very tough, lots of experiences similar to Fadil. A lot of people telling us what you're doing doesn't make sense. You're never going to be able to change the face of the Okada industry in Nigeria or the face of the mobility industry. You would struggle with government bans, which we have struggled with, which we experienced in Lagos a couple years back. But despite all of this, we've been able to mobilize well over $100 million in investments. We've been able to get some of the leading corporations in the world to back us on this mission, right? And today, we're about operational in 5 countries on the continent, but this is still just the beginning, right? Now, this isn't about me or anything that I've done. I'm saying all this to inspire you that what you have right now is all you need to succeed, but not just for yourself, to ultimately transform your continent. When we look at Africa today, it's huge challenges that we have, right? Our youth population is growing very, very quickly. As Fadil said during his speech, we have a tremendously young population, and our birth rates are not slowing down anytime soon. About 1.3 billion people on the continent today will essentially double by 2050. But still, we have a ton of challenges. 50% of young people today are underemployed across the continent. 153 million adults cannot read and write. 1 billion people still do not have access to meaningful credit for business. And I can go on and on and on and on. So the question is, who's going to solve this? It's you guys. It's us. That is why we have this education. It's not so we can get the next promotion at our jobs, even though that is fantastic and that is welcome. But ultimately, it's about leveraging this knowledge, this insight, this experience to create real meaningful value, not just for ourselves, but for our society at large. It's election season in Nigeria. There's a lot of debates going on about in politics, right? But ultimately, as important as that is not what will transform this country. And that is the truth. What will transform this country, this continent, and the entire world and the global south is what you guys actually do with the insights, the knowledge, and the experiences that you have. So going back to what I said at the beginning, you already have everything you need to succeed. So I'll end by encouraging you and telling you that this education is not just for yourself. Remember that. It's for you to ultimately go out there, to leave your comfort zone, to transform your country, transform your community, transform your continent, and transform the world at large. Once again, congratulations, guys. Thank you very much.